This is our 2022 Ford Ranger Tremor Edition. Today we're bumping the horsepower and we're doing it using factory parts. That's coming up right now on Driving Sports TV. It's been a few months since we bought this Ranger and I've really enjoyed it. Not only have we gone on adventures with it, we've also been using it as a rescue vehicle on many of our shoots. And I have to say, it's performed very well. The standard powertrain in this is a part-time four-wheel drive system with a locking rear differential and a four-cylinder with a turbocharger producing 270 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. Well, today we're adding more horsepower. And we're doing it with a couple of factory pieces. For $1,000, you get a K&N air filter, and you also get the Ford Performance ProCal High Performance Programmer. But before we perform the upgrade, it's important to get a baseline. So let's run out and do a quick 0 to 60. Yes, even in the rain. It is wintertime in the Pacific Northwest, which means it's basically going to rain for the next 4 months. So I have no choice but to test this in the wet. And 3, 2, 1, go! 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. 7.4 seconds. Pretty good. Complete stop. I'm in just regular drive mode. And 3, 2, 1, go. Turbo kicks in around 3,500, 40, 50, and 60 at 7.9 seconds. Complete stop. I'll pre-charge the turbo just a little bit and go. 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60 in 7.61 seconds. Obviously, traction is a little bit of a challenge, but I'm not getting any real reports of like heavy traction control kicking in. These grabber tires from General Tires seem to be doing pretty good in these wet conditions. Okay, now that we've done some initial testing, time to upgrade the power. So the first part of this upgrade is actually very easy. All we have to do is replace the factory air filter with the one they provided in the kit. Now this is super easy. I just pull 3 tabs in the back, push it forward a little bit, make sure there's no wires having anything weird happen. And that should be enough to pull it out. Now this of course looks very clean because the truck is still fairly new. It's only a few months old. Okay, let's grab the new one. Okay, now we can see the difference here. This is the factory air filter and this is the K&N. That is included as part of the upgrade kit. K&N's actually a little bit heavier. That drops right in. Put the tabs in, watch that hose. Okay, all the way down, we've got 3 clamps. And there we go. It's as easy as that. Now, just gotta get rid of this and then upgrade the computer. Now this is the fun part, the ProCal High Performance Programmer from Ford Performance. Ready? Oh, look at that. So this includes everything that we need. The programming unit. Hey, it even has a mount. That's neat. And then the cable to connect to the OBD port. Instructions for the kit come on this card. Yep, that's the instructions right there. Have to scan it. Boop. Nope, we have to go interface on a computer, and I only have Macs, so hopefully that'll work. For the next step, I'm going to download the ECU data to the ProCal 4. I'm then going to sync that with the Ford Performance Tuning application. Once that is all synced up, it'll then download the Performance app to the device. This is Gertie. Gertie is really big on Ford tuning. Aren't you, girl? Like I did before, I am going to be connecting the ProCal to the OBD2 port. Once it's connected, I'm going to turn on the car, but I'm not going to start it. So basically it's just going into accessory mode. I now have a menu option for performance cals, as in performance calibration. So let's go ahead and pop on that. And there we go. Now we just wait. It's finally done. The ProCal 4 is good for more than just tuning. You can also data log. It has diagnostics, it has tools. Let's see, I can do tire and gear adjust. So I can change the ratio if I have larger tires so that the speedo reads correctly. That's pretty cool. Okay, now that we have the air filter installed and the performance calibration loaded, it's time to see what an extra 60 pound-feet of torque and an extra 45 horsepower feels like. So this is the first time I've started it up since I've done the calibration. Let's see. Sounds about the same. And away we go. In doing this ECU reflash, of course, it resets everything. So the vehicle actually needs to relearn its shift points with this transmission. Even Ford says in the documentation that shifting might be a little weird once we first get rolling with it. So before I do any performance testing, I want to kind of give an opportunity for the system to kind of, learn its new brain. Go out onto the highway and see if this feels, whoa, okay. That torque off, whoa. Okay, torque off the line instantly feels more significant. And I've looked at the performance curves. They actually provide dyno graphs on how this tune affects the engine. And it's not just about peak horsepower, it's also about a lot more torque off the line. And this system is actually optimized for towing too. So not only is it for 0 to 60 runs, but it's also for improving towing capability. So how does Ford find 45 more horsepower in this setup? Why don't they just send it that way from the factory? Well, it's because the 2.3 liter Ecoboost engine is optimized for regular fuel when you buy it from the lot. This new tune requires 91. So right off the bat, you're feeding it, better gas. It's going to be more expensive to operate, but in exchange for way more performance and factory performance at that. This is actually like Ford saying, here's your factory supported horsepower bump. Go enjoy. That's pretty awesome. If you recall, our best performance in initial testing was 7.44 seconds in 0 to 60, and that was in the wet. Now, I want to point out there's a funny thing about all-terrain tires is that they're not great in the dry. So performance testing, both between the wet and the dry, it's basically the same. I actually did take this out for a number of runs in the dry because it actually was, we had a rare dry day in between the filming of these segments, and the 0 to 60 times were basically the same before I did the performance bump. So I can't wait to see what it is now. See if we can do this without spinning tires. 3, 2, 1, go. 40, 50, and 60. 6.91 seconds, and I was babying it. I mean, this thing's quick. I was not wide open throttle because I would simply spin my tires if I were. Wow, 691, first test. Does this reflash make a difference? Oh yeah, it's huge. 3, 2, 1, and floor it. What? Oh my gosh. 60 in 6.43 seconds. This tune essentially took an entire second off the 0 to 60 time. That's insane. Love it. The 0 to 60 performance on this vehicle just dropped from 7.44 to 6.4. That's a whole second off for what is a $900 kit that includes an air filter and an ECU reflash. That is a performance bargain. So should everybody get this? Well, the only caveat is the fact that now I have to run 91 octane fuel, which honestly I was already putting in this anyway. So that doesn't actually change my daily habits. However, if you are trying to pinch your pennies and you don't want to pay for 91 octane, then obviously this performance pack isn't going to work for you, because the factory setup here does use regular fuel. Bumping to performance can be a huge price gap, especially with all the fluctuations in fuel costs these days. However, if that doesn't bug you and you want a Ford Ranger that is really fast, I mean, ridiculously fast for a factory vehicle, this is great. I love this thing. It just gave me even more appreciation for this Ranger, because, I mean, Tacoma, it can't touch this thing. It just can't. Colorado, yeah, I don't think it does 6.4s. No, I don't think it does. So I have to say, yeah, would I recommend this to most buyers? Absolutely. For Driving Sports TV, I'm Ryan Douthit. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, share videos. We make them for you, and I hope you enjoy them. I certainly enjoyed making this one. What? Woo!